severe. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia's economy was vibrant, and public spaces such as shopping malls were always filled with people. This shows how lively and active consumer spending was, reflecting strong business confidence and stable economic growth. However, the arrival of COVID-19 drastically changed this situation. As shown in the video, many malls became empty, and numerous shops were forced to close due to nationwide lockdowns and movement restrictions. This sudden disruption severely affected Malaysia's economic performance, leading to a decline in business activities, rising unemployment, and a significant drop in national income. Therefore, understanding the impact of the pandemic is important to see how deeply COVID-19 affected Malaysia's economy and the challenges faced during this crisis. COVID-19 was not only a health crisis, but also a global economic shock. Countries around the world experienced border closures, supply chain disruptions, and a sudden stop in economic activities. The impact was felt across almost every sector, from tourism and retail to small businesses and manufacturing.
The COVID-19 pandemic caused a major rise in unemployment in Malaysia, especially in March 2020, when the Movement Control Order, MCO, first began. During this period, many businesses had to stop operating, leading to a sharp increase in job losses across the country. The most affected sectors were the manufacturing and tourism-related industries. In March 2020 alone, the manufacturing sector recorded 23% of all job losses, while tourism-related sectors made up 39%. This shows that workers in these industries experienced the biggest impact as unemployment increased. According to the Deputy Minister of Human Resources, Haji Awang Hashim, many employers in both sectors were forced to reduce their workforce to cut costs and maintain business operations. The government's decision to limit industrial activities and allow only essential services to operate made the situation worse. Essential services usually contribute about 60 to 70% of manufacturing sales value. But with only 50% of workers allowed, productivity dropped. This slowdown also affected exports, since more than 80% of Malaysia's manufactured goods are for export. Global lockdowns disrupted supply chains, slowing export and import activities. The tourism sector suffered an even bigger impact. In 2019, tourism supported more than 3.5 million jobs, but in 2020, the number of tourists dropped by 83.4%. Malaysians also canceled their travel plans due to the MCO. Tourist arrivals at KLIA fell sharply compared to 2019. This had a serious impact on the national economy because tourism is Malaysia's sixth largest economic contributor, usually bringing in about 161 billion ringgit or 14.9% of GDP. The crisis also affected related industries such as crafts, aviation, transportation, hospitality, and travel agencies. Tourism-related services like retail, food and beverages, and accommodation were badly hit. As a result, at least 120 hotels had to close. Restrictions on domestic travel and the ban on foreign tourists meant hotels could not attract customers. Homestays, guest houses, and other accommodation operators also suffered major losses. Overall, COVID-19 caused business closures, reduced demand, a rise in unemployment, and widespread job losses across Malaysia, especially in March 2020.
First, the government introduced the 5 main actions to face COVID-19. For example, wearing face masks, taking a COVID-19 test when symptomatic, practicing isolation, seeking early treatment, and encouraging vaccination for high-risk groups. These are government initiatives to control the spread of this dangerous virus. Second, the government strengthened its efforts to curb COVID-19 through the 2021 national budget. Among the key measures was an allocation of RM475 million for the purchase of reagent supplies, test kits, and consumables for the Ministry of Health. In addition, our RM500 one-off payment was provided to benefit 100,000 frontline healthcare workers, along with several other targeted initiatives to support the nation's pandemic response. Third, the government launched the country's largest vaccination program, known as the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, BEEBK. It consisted of 3 phases and involved the opening of mega vaccination centers, MySejahtera registration, and cooperation between the government and the private sector. Fourth, the government introduced a loan moratorium during the COVID-19 pandemic. Loan moratorium refers to a temporary suspension of loan repayment obligations. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Malaysian government introduced a 6-month automatic loan moratorium to ease the financial pressure faced by individuals, households, and small businesses. Borrowers were allowed to postpone their monthly installments without penalties or additional charges. This initiative helped millions of Malaysians manage reduced income, job losses, and business disruptions while giving them financial breathing space during a very challenging period.
Before the pandemic, life in Malaysia was busy and social, but people always unite and meet each other daily. Offices were crowded, schools were full, and people met friends after work or school. Then COVID-19 changed everything since 2020. Not only in financial, but lifestyles of people in Malaysia too become more complicated. Schools and universities suddenly closed, Malaysian students to be forced to online learning. Classes moved online, and students studied from home for 2 years. This made a lot of changes in students' daily life. They have to complete all tasks in online, and required both students and parents to quickly adjust to new digital routines.
Penularan wabak COVID-19 telah banyak mengubah amalan pendidikan di negara kita. Sepanjang tempoh Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan dilaksanakan, pengajaran dan pembelajaran tidak lagi dijalankan secara bersemuka. Sebaliknya, guru menggunakan pelbagai kaedah lain untuk berhubung dengan pelajar.
My family, we are the type that I purchase the wet goods in the morning and we cook at night. At that time, it wasn't such a big impact for us, but in April onwards, then I had to rearrange how I purchase my household goods.
During the lockdown, what I cook for family is I'll make sure that every meal contains protein, vegetables, carbo.
Like they just serve nasi lemak, some fried noodles, and some snacks and junk foods maybe.
People started to shopping online and they cook home food for children. Lockdowns also changed how Malaysians ate and shopped for food. Many people cooked with purchasing groceries at online platform. People start to eat less because of the financial issues due to working online, and poverty also increased more in Malaysia. People also paid more attention to healthy food and stopped buying outside to prevent from COVID-19 and diet quality to maintain well-being.
Microeconomic impacts and recovery measures in Malaysia during COVID-19. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysian households and businesses faced major disruptions. Shops were forced to close, incomes dropped, and many small businesses struggled to survive. In 2020, Malaysia's GDP fell by 5.6%, showing a clear decline in household income and firm revenue. Unemployment rose from 3.3% in 2019 to 4.5% in 2020, highlighting stress in the labor market. First, financial support packages. To support households and firms, the government introduced stimulus packages such as Perhatian and Penjana. These programs provided cash assistance to families and grants or soft loans to small and medium enterprises. Over 10 million households received Bantuan Perhatian Rakyat cash aid. Other than that, wage subsidies helped companies retain more than 1.2 million employees, preventing mass layoffs and supporting household consumption. Second, support for workers and businesses. The wage subsidy program played an important role in stabilizing the labor market by helping firms keep their workers. Moreover, loan moratoriums and microgrants gave small businesses financial breathing space. As a result, unemployment fell from 4.8% in 2020 to 4.3% in 2021. A total of 2.7 million borrowers benefited from the moratorium, reducing financial pressure and allowing continued spending in the economy. Third, strengthening healthcare capacity. The government also strengthened the healthcare system to ensure a safe work environment. 1 billion ringgit was allocated for personal protective equipment, testing, and vaccines. A healthier and protected workforce helped prevent supply disruptions, enabling firms to maintain production and stabilizing local markets.
In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic affected many parts of Malaysia's economy, from businesses and workers to key industries that struggled during lockdowns. The government responded with financial aid, stimulus packages and health measures to support the people and stabilize the economy. At the same time, Malaysians adapted to their new lifestyles. These changes helped the country move toward economic recovery as businesses reopened and activities slowly improved. Overall, the pandemic shows how important resilience, cooperation and strong policies are in rebuilding the nation during a crisis.